Welcome back to our channel. Today we'll discuss the most drastic, the Cuban Missile Crisis. October. The world holds its breath. The clock ticks closer to midnight as two global superpowers stand on the brink of annihilation. This is the story of the Cuban Missile Crisis, a moment when humanity faced its greatest fear, nuclear war. To understand the crisis, we need to go back to the early 1960s. Cuba, under Fidel Castro, had recently aligned itself with the Soviet Union after a failed US-backed invasion known as the Bay of Pigs. Meanwhile, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev sought to counter American nuclear missiles stationed in Turkey. His solution? Deploy Soviet nuclear missiles to Cuba, just 90 miles from the US coastline. Imagine being President John F. Kennedy. It's October 16, 1962, and your advisors show you this. Soviet missiles in Cuba, capable of striking nearly every major American city. What do you do? Kennedy's response was swift but measured. On October 22nd, he addressed the nation, revealing the missile sites and announcing a naval quarantine of Cuba. This was more than a quarantine. It was a message. Remove the missiles or face the consequences. The world watched as Soviet ships carrying missile components steamed toward the blockade. Would they stop? Would they turn around? Behind closed doors, tensions ran high. US generals pushed for airstrikes and an invasion. But Kennedy, aware of the catastrophic risks of escalation, opted for diplomacy. Through back-channel communications, messages flew between Washington and Moscow. Khrushchev's letters revealed a mix of defiance and desperation. On October 26, he proposed a deal. The USSR would remove its missiles from Cuba if the US promised not to invade. The next day, a second, harsher message arrived, demanding the removal of US missiles from Turkey. But Kennedy's team chose to respond only to the first letter. In a secret agreement, the US also pledged to quietly remove its missiles from Turkey within months. On October 28, Khrushchev announced the withdrawal of Soviet missiles from Cuba. The crisis was over. 13 days. That's all it took to bring the world to the edge of nuclear war and back again. The Cuban Missile Crisis wasn't just a clash of nations. It was a test of leadership, communication, and the human capacity to step back from the abyss. In the aftermath, both superpowers took steps to reduce the risk of future crises, including the establishment of the Moscow-Washington hotline. But the lessons of 1962 remain as relevant as ever. Thanks for watching. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more historical deep dives. Let us know in the comments. What lessons do you think we can learn from the Cuban Missile Crisis? See you next time.